Hi, I'm Jeremy, Product Manager at Bitrise. Today we're going to take a look at the first thing you need to do in order to get started with Bitrise CI, and that's adding a new project. If you just signed up for Bitrise, you can click here to get started. If you already have a project, you can always add another one at any time by clicking on the new CI project button on the Bitrise CI main page. The flow is exactly the same whichever way you choose. I'm going to go in this way. Okay, the first thing you need to do is choose a privacy type for your app. It can be either private or public. Public is useful for open source projects where you want outside contributors to troubleshoot build issues, but be careful, if you choose this option, anyone can see your logs and configs. I'm going to choose private project. Now I need to tell Bitrise where my source code lives. You can select the appropriate Git provider from the list of options here. If you're completely new to Bitrise, you will need to connect your Git provider account as part of this flow. You can follow the on-screen instructions to complete this. In this example, I'll show you how to connect a GitHub repository using our recommended route, which is via the Bitrise GitHub app. I just need to click on Connect Account. I need to then authorize installation of the GitHub app via this screen here. And then I need to say which GitHub account to install the app onto, which will be this one for me. And then I have some control over which repositories that the GitHub app will have access to. So I'm just going to go with all repositories right now for speed. Okay, and now I'm in a position to select whichever repository I would like. And then this is the one I would like to have in this project here. I could manually enter the URL if I wanted to, and I can move on to the next stage, which is authorization. So for some of the repo connection options, there's an additional step here where you authorize Bitrise to the repository with an SSH key pair, and it looks like this. You can either add your own SSH key, which comes in handy if you need to set up multiple sub-repos, or just go for the auto add a generated SSH key option. Because I chose the GitHub app, then I automatically have authorized my project, so I can move through this phase without doing anything. The next thing to do is select a branch, which I can choose here. I'm just going to choose my main branch, and this is where the clever stuff happens. So I'm now asking Bitrise to auto detect the settings for this project. So it's going to be scanning my repository, looking for the configuration files, and setting up a project based on what kind of application this is. You can also manually add these settings as well if you like. And okay, wow, this is identified that my project is an iOS project, and there's a bunch of settings that are pre-filled here. You can review these, change them, or you can just carry on, which is what I'm going to do. The next thing is to add a project icon. You can add one here right now. If we found one in your repo, it will be there for you to select as well. I'm going to skip. And the last part is to set up webhooks. So at this point, you need to decide whether you want to do that. If you do register webhooks, then Git events can trigger builds for you. So for example, when you push some new code to one of your branches, or you open a pull request. Because again, I've used the GitHub app, the webhook is already set up for me. I don't need to do anything. If you do use a different way of connecting to your repository, then the options you have look like this, and you just need to select one. Okay, that's basically it. Everything's finished. I can press the purple button to finish the flow. What I can see is that Bitrise has kicked off my first build. Look out for one of our other videos where you can see how to analyze what's happened in your build.